What's going on, guys? We just wrapped up week 8. I'm going to do a little bit of a power ranking. Week 4, I did the temperatures of steaks. This week, I'm going to base my rankings on current teams right now. I don't know. If your team's really shitty, you're the Browns. If your team's really good, you're the Eagles, basically. There aren't any Browns, fortunately, for you guys. I know a lot of guys will cry about it. But, yeah. Going into the power rankings, nothing really changed up top. Gordo's still number 1. Tass is still number 2. I bumped up 2 spots to the 3 hole. Salami stayed in the 4 spot. Laz bumped up a spot to the 5 hole. Wonder dropped down 3 spots to the 6. He's holding on to a playoff spot right now, too, as well. Buckets is in the 7 hole. Dom's 8. Mashy's 9. And the doormat of the league, Jack, is still number 10. Going into the waiver wire additions, a lot of people fucking adding, guys. A lot of waiver claims. I went from 9 to 4 in 1 week, which is surprising considering last week I didn't go anywhere. Let's see. Lawrence added Alfred Morris. Mashy added Jimmy Garoppolo, who's not going to start at least for a week. Gordo added Jack Doyle. Wonder Kenyon Drake. Buckets added Juju on that beat. Jack with Lockett. Wonder Jay Cutler. Jack with McFadden. Jack with Will Lutz. And then we go into the free agency. Tass adding Vernon Davis, Theo Riddick, and a kicker. Buckets added Damian Williams, Telvin Smith, Cooper Kupp. I added Paul Richardson. Tass added Randall Cobb. Lawrence added a defense. Added Teddy Bridgewater, who might be coming back soon. Added Brett Hundley. Gordo added two defenses and dropped a defense. Lawrence added Bowman. Gordo added Blake Martinez. Dom added Brissett. Added Breida. And added Benjamin. But yeah, that whole Ezekiel appeal thing really made guys nervous. So Morris and McFadden getting picked up quick. We don't know who's going to be the guy there. Jerry Jones said Alvin Morris is going to be the guy. I think the coach's staff is saying it's going to be a 50-50 split. No one really knows what's going to happen, but both of those guys are must-adds at this point. We don't know what's going to happen. So I'm not going to do the recap like I said. I'm going to go into basically comparing your teams to what I think they are. I'm going to do this on power rankings, so it's really not who is the best and who's going to win. It's basically just saying this is your team, and I think you're going to make the playoffs, or I think you're not making the playoffs. So we're going to start with Jack, who's number 10 in our league. He's 2-6. He's in last place, 17-55 overall in the year. He's last place in points with 138 points per game. I'm going to compare Jack's team to the Texans. Jack is the Texans because, number 1, he's led by Deshaun Watson. And this guy, Deshaun Watson, has quickly turned into the best fantasy player in our league. He's averaging 30 points a game. He is unbelievable. He has so much value being a 15th round lock. I can't stress that enough. That is tremendous value. Like I said before, I love the trade for Jack, trading Brady for Watson, only for next year, but honestly, it's going to help him out this year too. Jack is far behind the pace. Like the Texans, he's in third place in the division. They're kind of a little bit out of it, but they're not really. Unless they string together a couple wins, maybe a couple divisional wins. But Jack is still in it after a huge win last week. That was kind of his playoffs last week, because now if he kind of runs the table, he goes 5-0 to finish the year. He makes the playoffs. He goes 4-1. He could make the playoffs. But Jack really needs a really strong performance out of Deshaun Watson. He's going to lead his team right now. McNabb is basically, he's the 12th best quarterback, but I don't really think he is that. He didn't have his bye yet, which is huge for quarterbacks. You're going to see a lot of guys jump him in that bye week. I think he's more of like he's in the 20-ish range, maybe 25-ish range. Definitely a quarterback too. Don't really like him that much. He's in not that good of an offense. Has a tough matchup with the Bills this week. Has a tough remaining schedule as well. In the playoffs, he's got Denver week 14, which Jack, you're going to have to start him if you make the playoffs, which it's kind of a daunting task going into Denver as the Jet quarterback. But as the Texans do, they have a decent run game with Lamar Miller. They're starting to give him the ball more, and I like Jack's running game a lot more than what it was, which is surprising because he did add two key guys, including Chris Thompson and Aaron Jones. Chris Thompson is kind of looking like a really, really good PPR back. Probably going to finish in the top 15. Right now he's in the 8th spot, but he's slowly going down. He's been falling a spot or two every week. But the guy's catching passes. He's making plays. They really don't have no offensive threat besides him. And then Aaron Jones, I like him a lot because, no Rodgers there. They're going to rely on the run game more with Hundley being the quarterback. And he has looked pretty good the weeks he's filled in. He's gone over 100 yards twice in 4 weeks that he's been there. And then Doug Martin. Yeah, Doug Martin is not what Jack thought he was going to be. Jack was thinking he was going to be a RB1. He's put up decent numbers, but nothing crazy. He hasn't touched the ball a ton. Being in that offense isn't that good, and they play from behind a lot because they're a bad team. His wides, though, they're nothing to compare with the Texans. Besides Will Fuller, who has 14 catches and 7 touchdowns. I don't know what the fuck is going on there, but it seems like every time Deshaun Watson throws it deep down the field, Will Fuller's fucking catching a 50-yard pass. Pierre Garçon, not really, really, really high on him. He's your 26th best wide without a bye, which means he's going to drop to like the 40 range with the bye. That Niners offense is bad. It's putrid at best. They got C.J. Beathard in there, and he's been worse than Hoyer was. They just traded for Garoppolo, so maybe that helps him. I don't know if that's going to help him now. That might help him later on in the year as Garoppolo gets acquainted in the offense. And Demaryius Thomas, he has not been that good this year either. 36th best wide right now. He's had 2 really, really bad games. Almost games that... 2 games he's had that it actually hurt your team, Jack, to start him. You benched him against me, which you lost because of that. You're 3-5 if you beat me, and that's a lot better than 2-6. Believe it or not, with how this league is falling into place with all these teams at 5-3. But yeah, your wide's a little weak. You don't have a clear-cut wide receiver 1. You probably have all wide receiver 2s, I would give you. Garçon maybe a 3-4. Fuller's definitely a 2. Thomas is a 2-3. It's a little shaky there, but your running backs are pretty good, not for nothing. I honestly, though, I would love to see McCoy on this team because I think McCoy would be such a big help to your team. He's been really, really playing well these past few weeks. Next team, we got the 9th best team, which is Mashie. And I'm going to compare Michael Mashie's team to the New York Jets. Going into the year, Mashie's team wasn't ranked high. The Jets also a team that was not supposed to be good. He started off pretty good, but then the injuries started mounting. I don't know if the Jets are hurt, but the Jets just suck. But yeah, the team, Mashie's team has just gone from decent to pretty bad after that Ezekiel Elliott loss. Losing Zeke is a huge killer to no matter whose fantasy team. It doesn't matter. It's a really, really bad loss. He's a top 5 back, and he's going to be out until at least week 15. And by that time, I'm expecting Mashie to be done. Just like the Jets, they're going to be done in a few weeks. But yeah, you got Derek Carr, who's had a really down year. I think he was like a top 7 quarterback last year. This year, he's ranked at number 14. He did miss a game because of a broken back, and it's amazing he only missed one game. But that's another quarterback who hasn't had the bye, so he's going to drop as well. You trade for Big Ben. I thought that was a pretty decent trade on your part. I like Gordo's side better because he got a pretty good wide out of the deal. But you did need a quarterback, and you traded for Big Ben, who a lot of people were high going on into the year. He got drafted fairly high. But he's been average at best as well. He's been a very pedestrian quarterback. He goes into the bye this week. He's number 17. He's going to drop a few spots as well. And then, like, your running back situation right now is, like, I don't even know who your best running back is right now. Like, there's so many guys that they're not even, like LeGarrette Blount. I can't see him being a factor anymore. Unless he's getting the early down work, which he was already getting for the Eagles, but I don't think he's going to get the early down work anymore. I think Ajayi is going to cut into his carries every single week, and in 2 or 3 weeks, he's going to be droppable. You look at Cohen. He started off so fucking good. He was solid. 25, 12, 14, and then he just hits the floor. 8, 1, 9, 8, 7. You're throwing up 8 points. That's like running back 3 numbers at that point. You can't really bank on him every week. I know the Bears run a ton, but it looks like Howard is the running back and Cohen is the pass catching back. But Trubisky doesn't throw the ball. I mean, they won a game and he completed 4 passes, which I didn't think would happen in this day and age of the NFL. So I don't think Cohen's going to really hold a lot of value other than being a flex spot, maybe RB3. Peterson is another guy. He has the game of the year for him, 26 yards, 134 yards, and 2 touchdowns, 29 points, and then he lays a dud against the Rams. Might have been in game flow issues. They were down a lot. They were down big in that game, so they abandoned the run. You're looking at Peterson's matchup against the Niners. I see him toting the rock a lot this week. I think they're going to beat the Niners, but his whole outlook on the rest of the year without Carson Palmer is not looking good. You got 3 tough defenses in a row after the Niners: Seahawks, Houston, Jacksonville, and then the Rams again. It's not looking good for him. He's an RB2 right now at best. He could be another RB3 guy. Then your wide receiving core: Alshon, Michael Thomas, Macklin. Michael Thomas is good, but he really hasn't had that huge week that he was having last year. He's the 13th best wide receiver 2 right now. I still think he has wide receiver 1 upside, definitely. The Saints have really relied on their running backs to a point where both of their running backs are startable, which is very surprising. Kamara and Ingram. Ingram is like a top 10 back right now. Kamara is just outside the top 10. They're both really valuable. Drew Brees is completing way more passes to his running backs this year as opposed to years past where he was spread it around to all the wide receivers. No big numbers from any of the wides over there. Thomas has yet to go over 100 yards, which is saying a lot. Alshon, this guy went from being like a stud on the Bears to getting hurt and just being very pedestrian. He's the 27th best wide receiver right now, and he hasn't gone into the bye. He's only averaging 11.6 points a game. He goes into the bye, he's going to drop to below 30. He's a wide 3, wide 4 right now. Macklin as well. He's 57th best. Missed a few games, a little banged up. Hasn't had a game over 14 points, though. Last week was the game he had 14 points and was on your bench. Macklin's a wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5. That offense is really bad, too. Flacco doesn't pass the ball to wide receivers. He doesn't throw it deep to wide receivers. Macklin is the guy coming over the middle now in that West Coast offense. He's really catching short passes. He's not catching a lot of them, though. Jordan Reed, another guy, always hurt in his career. I don't think he's going to play this week. Really tough time looking at your team and seeing a team that's going to make the playoffs. I really don't think you have a shot at this point. You need a little bit of luck, just like the Jets. Mash, I think you're out of this one. 8th best team. Oh, Dom. I said I was going to rip Dom, right? Yeah, I'm going to rip him. I'm going to rip him good. Where are you, Dom? Bam. Where's my luck? No luck, Dom. You would have beat 6 out of 9 teams last week. It does suck. Dom is our 8th best team. He's 2-6. Yeah, he's 2-6. 35-37 on the year. Number 6 in points. At 157 points per game. And Dom, I'm going to compare you to the Baltimore Ravens. You are the Baltimore Ravens, Dom, because you are Jekyll and you are Hyde. You are great some weeks, and then you completely shit the bed, and you look horrible other weeks. You go to blowing out the Dolphins like last week, to just losing to very, very pedestrian teams. You had the high point score in 1 week, I think week 3 or week 4. And then after that, your team just took a downfall, huge downfall. I don't think there's anyone in these like bottom 7 that has led the league, weekly lead in points for 1 week, and it is in the bottom 7. So basically, you're the only guy there, and that's why you're the Ravens, because the Ravens shit on teams sometimes and then just look horrible. You're led by your 2 quarterbacks who have been horrible. Eli Manning, the 21st best quarterback, and Kirk Cousins. Wow, Kirk Cousins is the 7th best quarterback? Jesus. How the fuck is he the 7th best quarterback? 10. Well, Kirk Cousins has been horrible. I thought he was bad after that pitiful performance against Dallas. But he's the 7th best quarterback. Well, he's been over 10 points. That does help. There's actually a lot of quarterbacks this year. You see a quarterback throw up a 3. You see a quarterback throw up a 5. I've had Jameis throw up a 3 and a 2, and he's completely done. Like, his average points are never going to go above 25 because of that. But Cousins has been surprisingly good. I guess the offense, I'm seeing the offense. I don't think the offense is that good. It's very sloppy. There's really no good wide receivers in that offense. You see, like, Jamison Crowder, how he just went from really good to really bad to really good again. So, like, I'm really confused in that offense. He goes into a tough week playing Seattle. I'm not expecting much, but Eli, he's been really bad, because you got to figure this offensive line, they would do something, but of course they don't. They don't make a trade. They don't do anything. They don't get better. They don't at least help for next year. They just say, okay, we're just not gonna do anything. At least trade, get a draft pick, do something, Giants. Fire McAdoo, do something. Eli's the 21st best quarterback, and he's in quarterback 3 territory. What? Yeah, he's going to be a quarterback 2, though, I think, for the rest of the year. Definitely not a quarterback 3. And once he does hit that quarterback 3 threshold, then he's got to be gone, Dom. But I don't see Eli throwing for 300 yards again this year. I don't see him throwing for 3 touchdowns like he did this year. I don't see it. The offensive line is just so bad. There's no playmakers in the offense. Your best receiving threat is a tight end who's a rookie. Your second best receiving threat has been hurt in Sterling Shepard. Yeah, very tough for the Giants. Very tough for Eli. Another guy it's going to be very tough for is DeMarco Murray, who has Derrick Henry chomping at his heels. Henry wants the job. Murray's been banged up. It's always his hamstring. He's always fucking hurt with his hamstring this year. But Murray has been pretty decent this year. He's only the 24th best running back because of the bye that he just had. But he's had some decent weeks. He's only really had 1 really good week. He had 115 and a touchdown against Seattle. Other than that, he's been a running back 2, and I think that's where he's going to fit in, a running back 2. Definitely wasn't drafted as a running back 2. You drafted him as to be your best running back. Lamar Miller, another guy. You see him get more and more life every single week with Deshaun Watson being there. Lamar Miller is just like, he's like a good, solid running back too. Like, he's like, you know what he's gonna do every single week. He's gonna give you that 10 to 15 points, and he's been doing it every single week. 11, 11, 7, 29, 10, 11, 11, 22. So he's pretty good. He's the 15th best running back right now. Definitely a running back 2. Like him a lot. Goes into a nice matchup for the Colts this week. Like Lamar Miller going forward. Definitely a trade candidate for you, Dom. You're probably gonna wind up packaging someone for a keeper, because I think you're looking into being a guy looking for keepers just because you traded Cook. At this point of the season, I don't think you really have a shot You really don't have the quarterbacks to lead you. You do have AJ Green though. AJ Green's the third best wide receiver in a year where wide receivers have been really, really bad. He's been very, very solid. His low point being 7, 12, 11, 30, 17, 31, 7, 11. Nice, solid numbers. But yeah, the wide receivers as a whole have been down. AJ Green has been steady though, number 3. You got Kelvin. Kelvin's probably not going to play this week. I can't see him suiting up. He's not going to know the offense unless they just tell him, Kelvin, go deep every single play. Yeah, so unless they're saying Kelvin go deep every play, I don't see him holding value for at least 2 weeks. I mean, unless he gets a real good grasp of the playbook going into next week, I don't see him being a real threat. He's going to be one of the few guys to not have a bye in a year, which is really surprising because it really doesn't happen. The trades don't happen too many times in the NFL. So he's going to play, I think 18 games. No, 18 games he's going to wind up playing, which is fucking crazy. 17 games. I'm sorry. He's going to wind up playing 17 games. He might lead the league in games played this year, which is a nice stat, Dom. Then you got Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones was dropped early in the year. Then Golden Tate gets hurt, and Marvin Jones becomes more of a factor. Looking at Marvin Jones as more of a wide receiver 3, I think Tate is the guy to own in that offense. But yeah, Marvin Jones is a solid wide receiver 3. So you look at that, you got a 1, 2, 3 punch right there, but I don't think Benjamin's going to be a wide receiver 2 for at least another 2-3 weeks. And by that time, Dom, it might all be over. You got me this week. You got a tough matchup. Very tough for you. Jimmy Graham, solid tight end. You wound up trading your lock pick for him because you were going for it. But looking back at it now, maybe you shouldn't have done that. You got Sterling Shepard. I don't know if the Giants are gonna pass to him a lot. You got to figure teams are gonna lock him down because they really don't have too many threats. So they're gonna zero in on him a lot. I don't know where he is right now. I don't know what he could be. He's maybe a wide receiver 3, maybe a good flex guy. Not really sure. I know the offense is bad. I know Eli isn't throwing for over 200, 250 yards a game. That's definitely going to cap him. Unless he's getting half of all the targets, which isn't going to happen, then he's going to be viable. But I'm not seeing a lot in Sterling Shepard. I don't think the Giants' offense is good at all. I think it's really bad, probably one of the worst. At least you got the Jaguars D, though. They've been holding it down. Number 1 in the league. Averaging 14.6 points a game. When guys start fucking defenses that throw up fucking -4, and you got a defense putting up 15, that's fucking huge. Yeah, Dom. Like the Ravens, I don't think the Ravens have it this year. Sorry, man. Number 7. The Bell Bottoms. Buckets. I'm going to compare you to the Atlanta Falcons. Buckets is 3-5, 28-44 on the year. Number 8 in points, 147.6 points a game. Buckets is the Falcons because he's really, really underachieving. And he's led by Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan has been king underachiever for the year. He's only averaging 17.7 points a game. Looking back on the trade with Wonder, I don't know who fucking wins that trade. It's so up and down every single week. Cam is so bad some weeks. Like, he's, like, really, really bad. And if Ryan just keeps putting together these performances of 20 points, he's going to be a solid quarterback 1. He's going to be a low-end option, but he's still going to be a quarterback 1. I still think he is a quarterback 1 in my eyes. I still think he finishes in the top 10 somehow. If not, he's going to finish top 15. I definitely think it's going to happen. Jared Goff. Rookie surprise, sophomore surprise, I'm sorry. After a horrible rookie season, he's the 16th best quarterback right now. Got the Giants this week without Janoris Jenkins. Love his outlook this week. Alvin Kamara. And who's your other running back? Well, you got Le'Veon Bell. So the Falcons, you got a nice duo of running backs. Kamara and Bell. Le'Veon Bell. He is such a pleasure to watch. He touches the ball so fucking much. And I feel like a broken record saying this, but no one touches the ball as much as Le'Veon Bell does. He might have 400 touches on the year. I think it's possible at this point. He's got 37 and 50, 87 and 32, 109. He's got like 200 touches right now through the halfway point. He's got the bye this week. We're gonna rest up. I know he's got to be a little dinged up, but he's fucking getting the ball a ton. And the volume. It's always gonna be there. Whether it be catches or rushes, he's always going to get the ball. He's always gonna touch the rock. Yeah, I love him. Locked, loaded, running back one. He is the best running back in football in my eyes. And then Kamara, solid number 2 running back. He's ranked 16th right now in our format, even after the bye. He's put up 7, 8, 13, 25, 11, 15, 16. Always in that running back 2 territory. Had one solid running back 1 week. And the rest running back 2 weeks. He's been really fucking good, man. Catching a lot of passes. They're running the ball with him, too. Ingram fumbled twice last game. Let's see if they give him the ball more. I think they are. Too bad he can't win Rookie of the Year because it's the fucking year of the rookie again. Back-to-back years being the year of the rookie with Deshaun Watson and Kareem Hunt. But any other year, I think this guy would get votes. You got Damian Williams in there now. I'm not going to say too much about him. Really don't know too much. I know that the Dolphins' offense is bad, but they traded the Giants, so they have to think they have a guy to run the rock now. And then, like the Falcons, you have an underachieving wide receiver 1 being Jordy Nelson. He hasn't been that good this year. He was hurt a week, but the weeks that he had Rodgers, he was really, really good. 3 weeks being a wide receiver 1, 2 weeks being a wide receiver 2/3, and then last week actually hurting your team because you started him. I declined to trade for Jordy Nelson. Buckets offered me Stefon Diggs for Jordy Nelson, and I fucking declined that because I don't know what's happening in that offense with Hundley being the quarterback. They did have the bye last week, which could help, but I'm really not sold on Hundley being the quarterback there at all. Rodgers loved going to Nelson, either in the red zone, going deep, across the middle, wherever. I don't see Hundley fitting in, doing the same thing. I think they're going to run the ball more. I think that whole offense takes a hit. Everyone on that offense takes a hit. The only guy really that's going to help is Aaron Jones, maybe Ty Montgomery, but more so Aaron Jones. You got Mike Evans, top 5 wide receiver. Like I said, like he really hasn't like crushed in any weeks. Like he's yet to go over 100 yards, but he is the 5th best wide receiver strictly because of the touchdowns. 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdowns. The wide receivers are down across the board this year. I think last year, 16.6 points was probably like a wide receiver 11, which is saying a lot with the wide receivers this year. I definitely think Evans is going to finish in the top 5. But, like I said, the numbers for wides have been down across the board. You got Evan Ingram, who I fucking love, man. He really is I think he's going to break a lot of rookie records. Might go down as the best rookie tight end season of all time. Just because the Giants really don't have anyone to throw to but him and Sterling Shepard. He's had really good weeks. Like, not for nothing, like, he had that dud week against the Chargers, but 8.4, 14.9, 9.5, 12, 19.2, 18. Solid weeks. Always having a high floor game. I love him in the Giants offense. I think he's going to be really good next year. If they're a year of learning the offense, and maybe the Giants load up on offensive line. You got Odell coming back. You got Hogan. I don't know what the hell's going on with him with that shoulder. They had him in a sling. I think he has the same injury as Golden Tate. He doesn't need surgery. They're saying a few weeks. They said a few weeks for Golden Tate, and he played after his bye. I don't know yet. But Hogan has been really, really good. 11th best wide receiver, only averaging 13.7 points, and he's the 11th best wide receiver. 13.7 points last year was a wide receiver 3 in our league. He's a high-end wide receiver 2 right now. So, yeah. Like Hogan going forward. Hopefully he's healthy for Pete's sake, for Pete's sake. But yeah, like the Falcons, Buckets is on the bubble right now, not doing too well, really underperforming. But he could turn it around. Matty Ice could lead his team to a few wins. Buckets is right on that cusp. Could see Buckets sneaking into a playoff spot at this point. Don't know yet, though. I mean, we do have a lot of teams left that I think are really at their highest, and I think they're going down. Speaking of teams that I think are going down, we're going to talk about our sixth best team, Wonder. He is the Seahawks. And I know you're going to say, whoa, didn't you just say they're going down? The Seahawks are going up. Yeah, the Seahawks are going up. But they started the season really decent at best. They're 4-4. Wonder's 4-4, 43-29 in the year, fourth in points, 167 points per game. Wonder's had some really, really good weeks where he's lost. He's had really tough losses, like the Seahawks. But yeah, I think Wonder is going to be okay just because the fact that he's such a great manager, as Pete Carroll is. He's led by the duo of Cam Newton and Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is the ninth best quarterback. Solid quarterback one. Averaging about 20 points a game. And Cam Newton, I don't know what the hell he is. He goes from having 43 points against the Patriots to having 4 points against the Bears. What the fuck is that? But yeah, Cam, his floor and ceiling are just, they're exact opposites. Like, he's really not that high floor guy. He does have those killer weeks that are huge, that win you weeks. But I don't think they're going for it this year. They just traded their best wide receiver. I think it really hurts Cam. Just like I think the Seahawks trading their left tackle is a bad idea. Oh no, did they trade? No, they traded Jeremy Lane. They got a left tackle. Whoops. Sorry about that. They got Dwayne Brown. But I digress. Cam Newton, not really sold on him. I think he's going to be a quarterback 2 going forward. Low-end quarterback 2 at that. He's got the guy, though, there, Christian McCaffrey, who's going to really benefit from Kelvin not being there. He's going to catch a ton more passes than he already has. I don't know what the rookie receiving record is for a running back, but I'm sure he either broke it or is going to break it in the next couple of weeks, because all this fucking guy does is catch passes. Like I said, he's fucking Danny Woodhead version 2.0. That's him. Doesn't have big playability, but he catches passes, man. You're going to catch 10 passes in the game. You're going to be really, really valuable in any format. That's 10 points in PPR. That's fucking huge. He's the 12th best running back right now. He's just off of running back 2. Just off of running back 1, he's a running back 2. Then he has the Gurley, really solid bounce back campaign after a rookie season that was tremendous. His sophomore year was a little down. This year he's fucking looking really good, running with purpose in a whole new offense. He's actually catching balls this year as opposed to last year and the year before where he wasn't. Number 2 running back, 24.7 points. He's a fucking stud. Yeah, and then you have, like the Seahawks, you have those wide receivers who, are they good? Are they not? I don't know what the hell's going on. Like Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant's fucking Doug Baldwin. He has those good weeks, but then he just fucking disappears. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 games. Well, let's say 2 games high wide receiver 2, 2 games wide receiver 1 low end, and then he disappears with 6.3 and 7.9, 9.2. Yeah, Dez is probably wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 at this point. Not really seeing what Wonder was seeing in him, but maybe the whole offense changes. Maybe they start throwing the ball more. I think they have to at this point, considering they have Alfred Morris and Darren McFadden leading the pack as opposed to Ezekiel Elliott when they were just fucking feeding him the rock left and right. You got Jermaine Kearse, 30th best wide receiver, definitely wide receiver 3. Really no upside in that Jets offense. He had 1 really good week. Everything else is kind of in the middle. Yeah, he's a wide 3. Nothing doing there. You have Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen. Like, look at Keenan Allen. He's averaging 13.5 points, and he's the 12th best wide receiver. Like, is that saying something in this league? Like, what is going on in football that these wide receivers were so good last year, and now this year they're so bad. That 13.5 points last year is wide receiver 3 territory in our league last year. It's really amazing how it just changes year to year. Like total like wide receiver output. Like I didn't think it would change that much. I only thought it was going up. I never thought it was going down. But yeah, he's a wide receiver 2 right now. Definitely has wide receiver 1 upside. I think Devontae Parker is probably your flex when he's healthy. Not really sold on him as well. He had 3 good games, then he got hurt mid-game against the Titans. He's been hurt. I don't know if he plays this week. You got Zach, my Dick Ertz, who's the second best tight end right now. He is having the best year of his career. He's been over 13 points every single game, but he's been under 20 points every single game. So right at that, he's every single week he's probably in the top 5 as a tight end. He's very consistent, always catching passes from Wentz. They're really good friends. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touchdowns already. He's having a really solid year. Cameron Brate, you got him too. Another solid tight end. Another guy, always in between 11 and 19 points. Besides week 1 where he had 5.5. It's very solid. It's a decent flex option, to be honest. I mean, what more could you want from your flex than 10 to 15 points? You got the Ravens D. Ravens D has been really solid as well. They're the number 2 D, 11.9 points. That's huge. Even after a game where they had negative 6 points, it's pretty good. And then Montgomery. Look at Montgomery just fall from grace, man. He was so good. Solid. Gets hurt. Gets Wally pipped. And now he's a pedestrian running back. He's not even startable. He's a running back like 6 at this point. Yeah. Last. This is a team I want to talk about. Cook and Alfredo. Laz is the number 5 power ranked team. He's 5-3, 33-39. Number 7 in points, 153 points per game. And Laz is the Jacksonville Jaguars because his team plays defense. He's the least points against at this. Oh no, he doesn't. Jack has, but he has the second least points against. This is amazing. Jack has 11. Oh my God, he's the second least points against right now. At this point, he's playing good fantasy defense, as some people would call it. Is he for real? Is he not? We really don't know. I mean, that defense is serious in Jacksonville. We do know that. They're keeping him in every single game. They have a really good run game with Fournette. They're on top of the AFC South right now. I don't know about them though. It's a tricky team when you got Blake Bortles as your quarterback. I can't really trust you. And D, I really can't trust your team at this point. You're in the bottom half of the league in almost every single category with points, consistency, overall record. It seems like you got a little lucky, just like the Jaguars a few weeks. Nonetheless, you're still led by, I think, in my eyes, probably the second or third best quarterback tandem in the league, with Drew Brees, the 8th best quarterback, and Dak Prescott, the 6th best quarterback. Even with Dak throwing up a pooper last week, he's still the 6th best quarterback, averaging 25.8. He's having a really solid year, building on that rookie year, having a better year than his rookie year. Love Dak going forward. Losing Zeke, I think, is going to be a blessing in disguise for his fantasy-wise. He's going to have to throw the ball more, I think. He's going to have to make more plays. Drew Brees is loving his new offense, checking down to his running backs, running the ball with Mark Ingram. He's loving it. He doesn't have to throw as much, but he's still a solid quarterback 1. Have 2 high-end quarterback 1s right there, D. I really like your quarterbacks. It's going to help you out a lot. Those guys throwing up 40 points in the league helps out tremendously when they're both throwing up 40. Your running back still a little Shungat. You got C.J. Anderson. C.J. Anderson does look good when he's given the ball, but it seems like the Broncos are always shying away from him for some reason, and they like throwing the ball with Trevor Siemian, which I have no clue why, because he really can't complete passes, like Blake Bortles can't complete passes. Yeah, but he doesn't catch that many passes, C.J. Anderson. He's really capped off as a running back, too, which kind of sucks because in standard leagues, he's kind of like on that border of a running back 1 or running back 2. But because it's PPR, he's kind of a low tier running back 2, maybe a running back 3. Jordan Howard is the 10th best running back. I like this guy a lot. I tried trading for him, can never get him from you. I don't think you're going to wind up dishing him. He's the 10th best running back right now, right at that cusp of running back 1. I think he's a running back 1 going forward. I think they're going to continue to run the ball because they have to, because Mr. Trubisky is really not ready. Like his outlook going forward. Alex Collins, another guy, another solid running back. I really, really like this guy. He is tied for first in rushes of 15 or more yards with Kareem Hunt, which you would never think because the guy barely touches the ball. But when he does touch it, he gains a lot of yards when he touches it, put it that way. I think it's his job going forward. I do think there's going to be an opening in that Raven backfield coming up. Danny Woodhead's coming back. So I think Buck Allen is going to have a little bit more value for a little bit longer, and then he's done. But Danny Woodhead coming back is going to hurt Collins a little bit. You figure Woodhead's going to be the pass-catching back, and the Ravens are always down. Devontae Adams, really, really not liking the rest of his season outlook. Has Brett Hundley thrown the ball just like Jordy Nelson? The whole offense has a downgrade. He's a wide receiver 3 right now in my eyes. The Juice Landry, Jarvis Landry, 10th best wide receiver, averaging 15 points a game. The Juice has been let loose, put it that way. Very, very high floor guy. Low point total being 8.3, 5 catches, 33 yards for Baltimore. Baltimore is one of the best defenses in the league against wide receivers. You really can't start wide receivers against them, which is amazing. But yeah, he's been really solid. I love that trade for you, trading Jarvis, trading to get Jarvis. You traded Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, really, really boom or bust guy. We seen him last week, what he did. And I think Jarvis is just really steady. I think he's always going to catch 5 or 6 passes, which is huge. Might get into the end zone a few more times in the year. Definitely think he's going to finish as a wide receiver 1 in this format. Jamison Crowder, really don't like him at all. Think he had the best. Yeah, he did have the best week last week of the season, but going into that week he was really, really bad. You got Cooks though. Cooks is the guy there, not Crowder. Cook's another guy, 8th best wide receiver, 14.2 points. Last year, not that good. Running back 2, wide receiver 2. This year, he's a wide receiver 1. He's the 8th best wide receiver. I like Cooks a little bit more going forward because Hogan is a little bit banged up. I think Hogan misses a week or 2. Definitely going to help out Cooks a lot. Cooks is so good for the Patriots. He helps them out so much. He spreads out the field. He's a deep threat, and he's really good too. So yeah, like Cooks being a wide receiver 1 going forward. Could fall off into a wide receiver 2 once Hogan comes back. I do like Hogan better when he's healthy, but I don't think Hogan is healthy, and I don't think Hogan's going to play for at least a week or 2, even after the bye. And then your tight ends, you got Safarian Jenkins and Clay. Those guys are probably going to be interchangeable for you. I could see you trading one of those guys. I offered you a trade. I don't know if you're going to take it, though. But yeah, both of those guys are probably going to be top 8 tight ends going forward, maybe top 10. Both really decent, solid options. Really good pickups. Both of them were pickups for you. Did you draft Clay or did you pick him up? No, you picked him up. Yeah, so both really good pickups. Your team is a lot. You've been picking up a lot of guys, D. And it just goes to show you that drafting is literally like 10% of being a good manager, and trading and pickups and starting guys for matchups, that's a whole nother ball game. You really changed your whole outlook on your team. You added Crowder, Safarian Jenkins, Collins, Alfred Morris, Derrick Henry. Did you add him too? No, you drafted him. Charles Clay, Matt Forte, Bridgewater. Yeah, you had a lot of guys. Think you got a shot just like the Jaguars. You're in a nice spot. You're sitting pretty. You're 5-3, but anything could fucking happen in this league. Just like anything can happen for the Jaguars. Going in to number 4, Johnny Salami. He is the Green Bay Packers. He is 5-3. He is 42-30 on the year. Number 5 overall in points, 163-point games. And yes, he was the Packers. He was steady. He was unbelievable. Killing teams, was the clear-cut best team for a few weeks, and then boom, Rodgers gets hurt. Losing Rodgers is probably the worst loss a guy has had this year. I think he was your team. I don't know if he's going to be back for the playoffs. I doubt it. But yeah, losing Rodgers, key, really hurt you. But I think there is a little bit more hope because Alex Smith is so freaking good. He's the number 1 best quarterback right now. He's going into the bye week 10. He's going to drop because of that. Deshaun Watson has more points per game than him, but Alex Smith has 27 points per game. Deshaun Watson had 30. Yeah, Alex Smith, really good MVP candidate this year. The whole offense has changed. He's throwing the ball deep. He has a really good run game. I like him being a top 5 quarterback going forward. Although Trevor Siemian, he's really bad. He sucks. He's horrible, actually. You need another quarterback. That's the only way your team is going to do anything. I cannot see your team being good if you're starting Trevor Siemian. You're going to need everyone else to explode. One guy you need to explode, and you need him to come on real fast, is Devonta Freeman. He's the 13th best running back right now, but he isn't Devonta Freeman from last year. Big game being 25 points. His last 3 weeks, 10, 12, 7.1. Running back 2, running back 3 territory with those starts. He's got a little banged up last game. Tevin Coleman came on late in the game against the Jets. You really, really need him to be that running back 1. You drafted him. You drafted him there. And Carlos Hyde, he's actually having a better year right now than Devonta Freeman. Really, really quietly good year. He's the number 9 best running back, 15.3 points. Another guy who hasn't had the bye, though, so he's going to drop in position rank after his bye. But he's been really steady. 13, 21, 24, 14, 2.8 dud. 24, 12, 8.7. 2 really bad weeks. The other 6 weeks have been real good. 3 RB2 weeks and then 3 RB1 weeks. He's been pretty good for the Niners. I think Garoppolo is going to help him a little bit. He's going to help out the whole offense. I think they move the ball more. I think he scores more. Like him going forward a lot. Definitely see him as a running back 1, running back 2. So you got 2 real decent running backs right there. Your wides, pretty good. Doug Baldwin, 14th best wide receiver. You know, I don't see him being what he was last year. Last year, he caught a lot of touchdowns. The year before that, he caught like 9 touchdowns in like 8 weeks at the end of the year, so it really boosted his numbers really high. I think he's going to finish outside the top 15. Definitely a wide receiver, too. Crabtree as well. Crabtree right now is the 9th best wide receiver, 13.9 points. I don't know if he played against the Broncos. No, he got shut out by the Broncos. So even with a dud, he's the 9th best. And against the Redskins, did he play against the Broncos? No, he didn't play against the Broncos. He got shut out against the Redskins, where he had 1.7 points. So you factor those 2 in, and he's still the 9th best wide receiver. I like him more than Cooper, definitely. Definitely wide receiver 2. Has the wide receiver 1 upside with the touchdown potential. Definitely like him going forward. Always liked him more than I liked Cooper. Hilton, though, is probably having one of the worst years of his career. He's the 29th best wide receiver. The last 3 weeks, though, have been putrid at best. 2.9, 4.7, 3.5. You go a week before the 27-point performance, he had 6 points, 5 points, 8 points, 31 points. He's had 6 weeks being a wide receiver like 4/5, and then 2 weeks being a wide receiver 1. He's boom or bust, and he busts way more than he booms this year. And he doesn't have luck throwing on the ball. He took a huge hit without luck. He's a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 right now. Don't like him going forward. Kyle Rudolph is your tight end. He's decent. He's a good, solid option. Number 9 overall, 10 points averaging on the year. He's been solid, yeah. He's not going to win your weeks, though. You got Bobby Anderson in your flex spot again this week. I